Here.
Well, you no, we don't have to do it now. You can do it later.
Just so you know, here. Right? Button.
Uh-huh.
Don't let a woman have sharp eyes.
It's only somewhat sharp.
I would go out in the field and play with this. What do you know? What do you know?
Hey, everybody.
Who do you know?
In 417
You
Mo.
can put this however you like. I just didn't want to.
That's fine.
All right, we need our mood lighting. Sorry. These other lights.
Just hope nobody calls me.
What happens when someone calls?
I don't know. I don't want to find out.
We need.
Hold on. Keep that on. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We need a couple.
Because we'll have
I'm
some
gonna get a
cool
floor
stuff
lamp.
too.
I'm gonna get a floor. These things to me, I just can't stand.
I know. We need some.
But it's no big deal.
All right. Yeah, right here's perfect actually.
Now, do you have you and he centered on that? Like, yeah, you do. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How
long?
Grab those headphones to your left.
Please. There you go.
They get a little warm too, so. But in case somebody calls, this will be your go-to right here.
How long
This
we
is
got,
it, just the
sir?
three of you.
Yes.
Isn't that nice,
Till the
Gene?
song runs out.
4 minutes? Okay, that's great. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to just take a second. Get my phone out.
Oh, this is mood music.
Hey, man.
Makes me want to get out a probe.
So, have you tasted my sweaty balls?
Oh, shit. Pardon my language.
That's one of the best Alec Baldwin Saturday Night Live skits
Sweaty
ever.
balls. Even my mom jokes about sweaty balls, and that's pretty funny because she doesn't joke about things like that. So, being a wholesome pastor's wife, English teacher,
Oh, she was.
pseudo bad kids.
She's a secret George Carlin lover.
Yeah,
She hated George Clooney.
She did? Oh
Well,
my
he was so.
gosh.
so anti-religion.
Yeah, she doesn't get along well with Bill Maher either.
I can see that. But still, your mom's not uptight.
No, she's come a long way. She actually had some peanut butter and jelly moonshine on Saturday at my party. Had to talk her into that one.
Yeah.
And a couple Jello shots. I think she was probably wasted actually after a sip of moonshine and
In
two
two
Jello
Jello shots,
shots.
yeah.
I forgot to ask her how she was feeling.
I'm going to lead us after I do the very first part and say, hey, Matt, 1 million cups crazy today.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll toss that to you.
Yeah.
And
Instead of crazy, let's say great.
introduce him. I'm going to try talking out loud.
So you're gonna do.
It's going to be a definite effort.
You're gonna do the. Say hi to your co-host, and I'll just say hi.
Right.
Okay.
I'll just toss it.
And then we'll
with
say,
the
hey Gary, hope you're okay in Hot Springs on your 2-week vacation.
Indeed.
What was the
man.
name of that group again?
Turnpike Troubadours.
Oh, thank you very much.
If you need volume,
Kick mine up.
Oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of turnpikes.
I can't
Really?
remember- What was the name of that one?
roll those then.
Firefly or something?
Whatever.
The house fire.
There was one that was
Yeah, I could probably pick it out if I see it.
slide up. Is there go up? Okay. Is that all of them?
That's it, right?
Pipe Bomb Dream.
Yeah.
Let's just do the Rural Chapel shout out. Just keep it simple. We can make a plan with that one.
I was going to say, you might want to listen to a few of them after this and see if we can, because I really liked it. It was
Me too.
good stuff.
All right. Okay, anytime you want to go. This way. Who's pointing today?
Me.
You?
Notice they spelled Mike.
Me. I'm the closest to him. We're right here.
Yeah, I like microphone, but Mike. That's Mike.
I'm friendly, I'm nice.
Get used to Mike.
Want a bite?
He's a good dude.
Proper distance, maybe.
Yeah, that's good. I like to use my low voice so I can toast.
Raise your voice.
That's the signal.
Oh, okay.
I'm so mellow after this.
We want to thank Rural Chapel and Lori Locke for the music coming into hashtag Who Do You Know in 417Mo. This is Jennifer Laney. I'm known as the singing real estate agent with Murney Associates. My primary job in life is to help people sell homes, buy homes, but more so maneuver the changes in your life. We love to know more about the people in our area because myself and my co-host, Matt Graham, both work in getting loans and helping people move. But this is the variety talk show on KWTO. I'm going to take off my realtor hat today and we're going to talk all about Who Do You Know in 417Mo. Every Wednesday at 3 p.m. You'll find us here on the airwaves at 560 AM and 93.3 FM. live stream now on kwto.com. That's a great way that if you're in your car and you want to head in the office, but keep listening to this fun and exciting awakening of the Ozark area and the business owners, then the community people. And we've got a great show today. Watch us live on Facebook, too, right now. Matt Graham, we're live on Facebook, aren't we?
We are live on Facebook. It looks like we have some people talking to us over there, but I can't read that far away.
That's okay. That's all right. Keep watching. We really love that you're taking a moment to take your afternoon on a Wednesday. We also would love for you to call in. We've got a really cool guest coming up. We're not going to talk about it quite yet because it gets us really crazy excited. There might be electrodes involved. They might be attached to my head.
This is going to be fun, actually.
We're just going to leave it at that.
That's a shotgun.
That's right. Star 56 from your Verizon phone will call in anytime. We do encourage that at any time in the show that you think, hey, I got something to say. And 862-9977. Hey, Matt Graham, how's it going, man? What tell me about that Million Cups thing from this morning.
Wow, there was a lot of prep for that, right?
1 million cups is what?
It is a networking event, essentially, for business people to come together, business owners come together. Startups are usually invited. It was started by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City, which is Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City Royals.
Oh, you mean Kauffman Stadium?
Yeah, big philanthropist.
We need a baseball like hitting the bat.
Someday.
Kauffman Stadium. So that's a foundation that they started.
Yeah. And it stretched out to different areas. Springfield caught onto it and went up and had a meeting with them. They decided to open one up down here. So you have 60 to, even 100 at sometimes that come together, and they listen to, startups or people that have revamped businesses, like what we're trying to do as well.
We are definitely a startup.
We're kindred spirits.
This is definitely a startup. We're on show number 5.
Yeah.
Show number 5. And 1 Million Cups had this fantastic opportunity at the Springfield Art Museum.
Yeah.
They're at Brookside and National. I always say, across from Mexican Villa by the French fries.
The old Mexican Villa.
That statue that's out there of the yellow things ever since I was
Everybody
really little was like, turn left at the French fries.
Right.
Right? So we had a great time.
So 1 Million Cups, they do you come in, you do a 6 to 8 minute presentation, and then they have 20 minutes for people to ask you questions about your business, how you're going to scale it, how you're going to make money at it, do you need resources, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and when you start up any business, and we're going to speak directly to the business owners right now who might be listening on the radio or on our live feed. When you look at your business, you have to be able to see the entire picture of what your business is. Now, the spark of the radio show that we have, variety show, this is not just about radio. This is about connecting business owners that need additional exposure to their business because they have a hard time defining who they are, right?
Especially through just regular radio ads, or say you have a budget for advertising, you blow that budget pretty quickly on just a few radio ads.
Right.
You never get to go tell your story to the radio station unless you have someone else who creates it for you.
That's right.
So you never get your chance to sit there and come up with, what's my history like? Why do I do this? And you get to tell that to everybody that could be your potential
Exactly.
client.
And I'll tell you, some of the best deals are made on a front porch.
Absolutely.
And Ozark Neighbors, what we believe in, hashtag who do you know in 417mo, that when you become an Ozark neighbor, that means that you are someone that we want to reach our hand out to. We want to give you an arm up to be able to brand your business, expose your business, have social media, and have a great conversation with, maybe some fun people. I think we're kind of fun.
We're pretty cool, I guess. I mean, our co-host here, our sponsor, is shaking his head. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, first, hey, I want to talk about our first initial sponsors. We have Whiskey River Market down in Ozark, Missouri. If you want to drive through and fill up your cooler and you're headed to the lakes, make sure what was that phrase? It's before you go to the river. No, wait. Before you go to the lake, make sure you go to the river.
That's right.
So Whiskey River Market, you take a left off of 65. Don't go in Walmart because there's a quicker place off.
That's
to the
right.
left, and it's much cooler. Great owners. It's a locally owned business.
Really cool place, hip place. They got a lot of knowledge on what they're selling by all means. Jared there, who is basically the guy who runs the place, you'll see his face there a lot. Super cool guy. He knows a lot about what he's selling. So if you need something that if you don't want to just go in there and just buy your usual, he's got something.
Oh, they got all the craft
really
stuff.
Cool.
They've got all the local
Great
brews.
whiskeys.
They've got
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, anything that's doing a distillery or some kind of something.
And lots of local brands,
That's
too.
what I'm talking
That's what I
about.
want to focus on, because they really talk about a lot of their local distributors and distillers that come in and do tastings on Fridays. Which we'll talk about that next week.
Super fun.
With Moon City as well. So we want to give them a shout out that we met today at 1 Million Cups. It's going to be a good relationship as well.
Yeah, and hey, by the way, as I mentioned at the top of this, both myself, Matt Graham is a loan officer, and I am a real estate agent, and we do all of our closings at Meridian Title.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy Bertram and Emily over there at Meridian Title. Closer, the dog, who's always over there making people feel comfortable. They've
Look,
got a lounge.
if you got to sell a house, wouldn't you like to do it petting a dog and having a beverage?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about a beverage.
An adult beverage, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, so we love the Bertrams, and they really have helped us out as far as keeping us going here, and we're excited to talk about them more.
Hey, real quick, we got to talk at the top of the hour here about what's going on around town, because we have a great front porch interview coming up. Once we kind of finish the top of the hour, we really want to take a focus on, if you know right now something that's going on, if you're playing a gig this weekend, if you have a friend that is doing a seminar, if you know something that is on Facebook that is an event that's coming up in the next week, and then just call in right now at *56 on your Verizon phone, 862-9977 to call in. And I want to talk about, speaking of Rural Chapel of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, I tell you, that guy has the biggest heart, and I think he's an Energizer bunny.
He is.
I never see him sleep, and he kind of looks like...
He should have a big drum in front of him.
Oh my God, he does have a big drum in front of him. What are you talking about?
He does, actually.
Rural Chapel of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils goes all the way back into 1977, when Ozark Mountain Daredevils came up out of the Ozark mulch and had Ooh, Jackie Blue, or the new relaunch that they're doing right now, which is If You Want to Get to Heaven. You remember those guys,
2020,
right?
yeah, they're coming back out with it.
That's right. So we want to give a big, huge shout out to Rural Chapel.
Been a big support.
He has been at the induction of this weird road of hashtag Who Do You Know in 417 Mo. He has been a great fellow to have had on as our first guest. Tonight, this is something great that Rule does, man. Matt, you should, if you have friends of yours that say, hey, I play guitar and I write songs at my house and all of this, and we all have those friends. Music is something that touches all of our hearts, our psyche, our soul. It's Ozark Writers Night at Friends Karaoke Pub tonight.
Great.
Yeah. And it's just free form. It's more like you walk in. It's a little bit more of a listening room, because when karaoke's going on, it's standing room only, and God help you if you're there past 12:30.
It's a circus.
It's fun. I love going to karaoke until closing. Don't get me wrong. But what's wrong with you?
Singing in front of people is something I would never do, I guess.
What?
And I'm on the radio, which is even funnier about it. But I'll never sing in front of people.
Why?
Well, sometimes I do have a very white voice, so try. But no, that's not going to happen either. No, you're the singer. I'm not a singer. That's why I played the drums. I didn't have to do anything.
Do me a
but just keep
favor.
a beat,
Say,
right?
ay. Just say that.
Ay.
Do it with some music in your voice.
I'm not. I'm not doing it.
Well, there's some people that are just dying to get out of their home, get out of their living room, get out of their man cave or she shed or whatever you want to call it, with their guitar, with their voice, with a keyboard, with a piano, whatever. They have, Rural Chapel always has his full keyboard set up there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a quiet kind of listening room setup. They got great nachos. It's really, good pizzas.
Well, you got to go try your music on somebody, right? Does it work? Does it not work? You got to have feedback. You can't just think that you can come out with an album and did it in your basement type thing and it's going to do anything, right? So you got to try it out on people. So that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side of that, what if you don't care about an album and you just want to, fill your soul and share your word?
Absolutely.
And so it's really engaging. I went a few weeks ago, and a couple of times, and what I found was that, first of all, there's so much history sitting in that room. My jaw dropped.
Yeah.
There were 7 or 8 local Ozark writers that have been around long enough that some of the names they were dropping of who they've written songs for, I was like, what?
Right here in the Ozarks.
Yeah, and they have a very coming from contribution spirit to give you advice of, hey, you know what, that sounded great. That one line, if you did this,
That's great.
And just enjoying where you get to tell a story about the song.
That's huge. That's
you can tell us, you can talk first and say, here's where I was thinking. For example, I was on my kayak last Sunday after some of this inspirations happened, and I specifically took a notebook with me to get away from all of the noise, right? To try to listen. And I think that musicians have, I am by no means an amazing musician, but I'm a wordsmith. I've always liked words to kind of summarize what I'm feeling, but I've always been a singer too. That's where the singing realtor came about. I know you grew up as a percussionist, right?
Yeah, and that's where I took a lot of my energy out, was
And
on
that's,
drums, you know?
That's why we get along so well,
Yeah.
is that I'm the melody and up here, and you're the rhythm.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle, we need some killer rock guitar.
Yeah, Josh?
He can play a mean air drum.
Josh!
Air guitar.
Hey, guess who just walked in?
I can actually play a mean air drum.
Josh Hankins, right?
Hawkins.
I'm hankering for some Hawkins. Let's just say that.
Good turnaround. But yes, we do have Josh Hawkins
This
here.
guy just
Yes.
walked in and he's carrying a samurai sword.
Yes, and we think it does have blood
Lots
on
of
it.
dangerous items.
Not recent blood. So that's a good segue into who we have here for our new sponsor that we've taken on here, Mr. Josh Hawkins with the Stockpile. Out in Clever. It's a...
We're an antiques, gun, and full service pawn shop. We basically do the things that any other pawn shop does, except for a little bit different. We kind of try to focus on the weird, the unusual.
This stuff is weird, man, but it's so cool. I'm taking some pictures for our social media. What was that automatic pistol that you were showing me just a second
Let's
ago?
see, that was a Mauser C96.
A C96 Mauser, which to me that's like Greek to me or German to me or something. I don't know what it means, but I bet
German.
people listen out there. We're gonna come back here in just a little bit after some sponsorships. Talk with Josh Hawkins of the Stockpile in Clever, Missouri, and we'll be back on hashtag Who Do You Know in 417mo in about 30 seconds to a minute. We hope you'll stay tuned and give us a call at star 56 on your Verizon phone.
Do you have a shotgun sound?
He saved the one for our
The
commercial,
Arlen
I
did?
bet.
Oh, man. Okay. We need that every time we say Stockpile.
No, we just gotta get the whole station saying it.
Yeah.
Like, walk.
This is going to be impactful.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
Much like a
was
shotgun.
good.
That was good.
Good.
Where do you want to go first? Do you want to start with shocking people? No, let's talk about you first. We're going
You
to talk
gotta
about
get
you.
the backstory, sure.
Let's do your backstory. Let's talk about your family history, like we've already talked about.
Banter.
We'll
like
take another.
crazy.
Yeah,
You guys go nuts.
we've known each other forever.
Yes.
And then I would say let's take another break. Come back, and then you can start talking about all this crazy shit that you have.
Yep.
Pardon me,
Okay, cool.
Mom. Sorry, Mom. But
Ah, shit!
someone's gonna get shocked here today.
That's
we're gonna
gonna be
talk
me.
about
I'm the one getting shocked.
Yeah, and so we'll see if it cures headaches. Obviously,
I've had
has
a
nothing
headache
to do with
today.
ibuprofen.
That's why I'm sitting behind here. But he's gonna try to shock me with some old timey. It was.
She's already volunteering.
I'm like, I'm ready. He's like, I shocked me out of it.
It looks like a comb.
You haven't even felt it yet either.
That,
have you?
but he showed me one. There was one attachment that looked a little bit too peculiar for me.
Yeah.
I said, "How by putting something there are you going to cure my headache?"
Oh my god!
It was anatomically correct.
Save that one. Save that. Oh, that's something we're gonna save right there. I love
But
that.
see, I can take pictures of that and put on social media.
Oh,
A
good thing you didn't
Louis,
bring
you
stirrups, or I'd be really wondering what we're gonna do. Take a nap for a minute. But I can't wait to open that sword right here.
Make noises.
Oh.
Sound effect it,
It's
dude.
gonna be. I think a lot of it's got its own sound effects. How long we got?
You come in. It's front porch interview time.
What do you mean say?
I'm going to say, this is Matt Graham, this is me, blah, 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 and it's time for our front porch interview.
All right, Josh.
How long do you want to go with this?
A bit.
Let's
You
see.
want
How
me
long
to-
are we gonna have?
Yeah.
Let's do about.
20 minutes?
Yes.
25?
If we go. We could do. I'd say probably about 20 till. So that's what 5, 10,
17 minutes?
About 17 minutes.
You want to do that or you want to do a quarter till and then a wrap up?
Perfect.
That's fine.
All right.
I think we could talk about this stuff more than we could our personal stuff, right?
Whatever.
I'd say I'll look at you if we start getting around the 20 till. I think that's probably what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
'Cause this stuff, we've got a lot we can do with this, and
All right.
we're going to shock the hell out of you, so that'll be fun. You go ahead. Take a break for a minute.
Okay.
Have a smoke and a bun cake.
Smoking a bun cake.
You say you're smoking a butt cake?
Smoke and a bun cake.
Nice.
Isn't that from Austin?
I don't know, but it's funny.
I picked it up
Shit.
somewhere along the line.
Stop making my
Stop making you laugh. We have something that'll cure
head
that.
pressure. It's like,
Yeah, the booklet says it cures laughter also, so.
cures laughter?
Yeah.
So you want
laughing too.
And
I'm gonna
it
use-
cures depression.
It's funny. It's a cure-all.
It basically just numbs you out. You're never happy, you're never sad, you just don't feel crap.
Right in the middle. You don't feel anything except for electrical shock.
Just a happy average.
And
Hello,
you're very-
everyone. Welcome back to our show here at Who Do You Know in 417-Mo. I am your co-host, Matt Graham.
Hey, I'm Jennifer Laney.
And I am the Springfield First Community Bank loan officer. I'll give that a little bit of a plug. So if you're looking for a home loan, come see me over at the Home Loan Center off Primrose.
Hey now, don't pass over yourself so quickly. You need to let
thank
people know.
you.
You are actually a fantastic loan officer. I sent
Thank
a fellow
you.
to you last week, and just the knowledge and energy, and being it's a local bank, right? Tell what Springfield First Community is.
10-year-old bank.
It's 10-year-old.
bank. We
It's local.
started in a recession, which everybody thought was crazy. But now we've become one of the top lenders in the 417 area code, and looking to expand a little bit. But
And it's really a local investor thing, right? That's why
It's all local
it's,
people.
It's independent, so that's why it didn't fail during the recession,
That's it.
because it's got like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
It's all about who do you know
Yeah.
here in the area, and it's real money, and it's a really cool foundation bank, right?
people that wanted service. They wanted good local hometown service, local decisions, and that's what we do. All local people. I don't think I've met anybody that's not from the Springfield area that works there. So we love. It's a great mantra that we have there. We all are very laid back individuals, so we all get along very well. It's really good. And now the girls at my office, tend to rag on me a little bit. Hi, girls. I know you're listening, but I do love you all. Thank you all for keeping me in line all the time.
If someone wanted to see about getting a home loan, a lot of them these days go online and they Google it and they jump on all these other sites. What would your advice be with that thought if someone is doing that? What would you say that they should do otherwise?
If you're doing just basic research on interest rates, things like that, which is still a dangerous spot to put yourself unless you know everything about your credit score, unless you know everything that's on your credit report. But you never are going to talk to a real person typically. There are places that do have an app on your phone that you can download and you can put in your information, but here's what I've figured out about that is there's a huge problem with that because the user typically doesn't understand exactly what I'm going to ask you for on paper, right, or in front of me, where I can put it on an application. So you have a situation like I just had last week where a guy filled out an application and it asked for his monthly income and he gave me his yearly income. Well, yeah, if I just went by that, I would be able to approve you because you put $44,000 a month.
Hey, is he single?
Right. So that's where I have to get involved, call the person and say, was this a mistake or do you truly make this much and can you back it up with paperwork?
Absolutely. The reason I asked you that question is that what I found in 23 years of doing this, seeing the internet come up, how it changed our industry, I think that if you guys are listening and you're thinking about doing anything with real estate, or really anything, any business, you can Google things and you can look things up online, but what you got to remember, you're looking into the matrix.
Yeah.
All you're really doing is looking into a fantasy world of what could be.
That's a great way to put it.
I know.
It's a fantasy world. Well, because
It
there's
is,
I hear a
and
lot
they
of
dodge your
disappointment.
questions, just like Keanu when he does that move with the
Keanu.
bullets. You know what I'm saying? So when it really comes, like if I was on the phone with Quicken, or if I Quicken Loans or Rocket Mortgage, etc., one of these things that you see all these commercials and they spend tons of money. Well, whose money is that they're spending for those tremendous commercials?
Oh.
I personally think that if you want to really do something, you actually call, I don't know, if you want to build a wall, go find a guy that has nuts and bolts and
Mortars and
plyboard
bricks.
and drywall boards. You don't go online and, you have to think a little bit more. The internet's become so convenient,
Yeah.
but sometimes convenient
Is a killer.
is not necessarily best.
Well, I get a lot of people that
And that's
are-
why I want people to call you.
Yeah.
Now, let's go ahead and sum them up. If they wanted to apply online, that is what is how
It is
spell it.
SFC, as in Springfield First Community Bank, sfcbankmortgage.com. You can go ahead and just apply there. You actually will hit purchase or refinance, and you'll skip down to my name down at the bottom right, and it's got my face, my profile. You hit apply, and then you start filling information out.
Gotcha.
You can always reach me on my cell phone, though, at 417-209-8532 if you just want to talk about it as well.
And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. It's Springfield First Community. So SFC Bank Mortgage.
.com. That's it.
And just look for Matt Graham like a cracker.
Yep, just look for my mug down
Graham
there at the
cracker.
bottom right. Graham cracker. Thank you for that. I thought that's always going to follow me.
Never heard of that one before.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying you're like a honky or something.
No. It's just that it's one of those
That's
things.
a throwback to like the Jeffersons.
When those,
Isn't that
when
like,
those
what
darn
was-
graham crackers came out, I was doomed to have that name, right? So either way, it's an homage to my family somewhere, I'm sure. So thank you, I guess, for being so relatable. But
Well, I think it's right. I'm so excited, Matt. You brought in the coolest dude.
Oh my gosh.
We go every week and wait for fate to lead us to people, and it's really just every week has been somebody new and someone cooler. And I mean, not cooler because then that means our other guests weren't as cool
No, they're
as
all
Josh
cool.
here, but
all in their own way.
But right, that it just keeps really being what we're trying to get to, which is who do you know in 417 know? Not just like what business do you know is there, but who is it?
Right.
Like, who is this person?
Right.
Why are they doing what they do? And focusing on local businesses. And today in our front porch interview, I'm going to let you take the lead, Matt Graham, and
Great.
introduce this fellow to your
Great.
left.
Well, it's not just Springfield we're reaching out to, right? This is stretching to
417.
many local areas, and we're going to be branching out into other larger areas. We're starting a little bit close, but now you all might think that Clever is a long ways away.
Oh, no, it's not. It's just like 4 miles south of Republic.
Exactly, and it's really not that far. If you live in Springfield, it's what, maybe 12 minutes?
I'd say something 12 to 15
Something like
minutes.
that. Go
max.
through Republic, hit P Highway, head over there.
Sure.
Right
Yeah, I
there.
did my first 3
And
years
you-
of real estate. I worked in Clever.
And Clever's blown
I
up.
could get from
right.
there to the
Get a little
south
break
side.
from the city also.
Absolutely. Well, and you get a different feel out there because this is somebody that knows a ton about history. His family is history in itself in this area. And right now, I just want to introduce Josh Hawkins. He is from Nixa, but owns a store in Clever called the Stockpile. Antiques, guns, and pawn. That's a great shotgun sound. You've been practicing. But
Since I was a child.
Josh, say hi to our listeners.
Hello out there. Yeah, my name's Josh Hawkins. We're opening a antiques gun and pawn store out in Clever, Missouri, and we're essentially going to be doing the same thing that a lot of other pawn shops do, but quite a bit different, I guess, in a way. We're going to be focusing on the unusual, the antique.
Go ahead.
Most most pawn shops won't offer a route to bring in granddad's old crock or a Route 66 sign or something really unusual that maybe you can't find online. And we kind of want to, I guess, offer that. We want to give people the opportunity to or have another outlet, I guess, to look into their items. We do offer free verbal appraisals. Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
So, sorry.
So let's dive a little bit further into you as a person, though, because that's essentially what we're here to do. Now, I've known Josh for a very long time. I think Jennifer asked the question the other day, how long have you known each other? And I think Josh said since birth, I
Since
believe.
birth, I believe.
Yeah, where'd you guys grow up and stuff? Like, see, we're gonna talk so much. I mean, we're gonna talk about the products even more so on your
Yeah.
pawn stuff. I want to just reiterate real quick though, the Stockpile has the best gold rate. It is a pawn store, but most importantly, it is a unique antique. Oh my gosh,
Super cool.
It's like Indiana Jones opens the vault.
Right. It
Right?
almost did feel like that. I went
Yeah.
in there, and you guys are doing your grand opening when?
Let's see, the grand opening is this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep, this Saturday are normal business hours. So we'll have, we're not doing anything huge. We're probably gonna have a cooler with some free drinks setting out. We may offer a few giveaways, maybe for the first 20 or so people that come on in.
Cool.
We just haven't hammered that down yet.
That's all right, but it's a grand opening June 15th, right?
Yep, June 15th.
Right there out in Clever. It's right next to the Murphin's Market, and it's in that center right there. So there's a Subway there, there's Murphin's
Yeah.
Market, I believe a tanning studio. It's the
Family
most
pharmacy.
visible place in
It,
Clever.
it, it
essentially.
really is one of the only places in Clever.
Yeah, so, but that's also why you want to do that. We'll get into that later. So tell me a little bit more about, your family stretches back to when did they settle here?
Oh goodness! Now that puts me on the
Might be a
spot.
loaded
Puts
question.
me on the spot a little bit, but we'll just say many generations back, the Hawkins family, along with McCulloughs and Wassons, we've been here for a very long time. Before Nixa was a town,
Right?
and a lot of us have stayed around the Christian County and Greene County area for a long time. And I just love the community. I love the people. It really struck my interest to go on a show like this that highlights local businesses and people from around, because this is my people. These are the people that I know. This area is what I love. I've been here my whole life outside of let's see here. I spent a little time in the Army as an Army diver.
Right.
And that was out in Virginia. It was fine in Virginia, but there was nothing like home.
That's for
You
sure.
were an Army diver?
Yeah.
I was a diver.
I like how he brushes right over that. Like,
Okay,
no
okay,
big
let's
deal,
let's
right?
let's hang right there for a second. I mean, that's exactly why we did the show. That's such an interesting little nugget, much like all these wares you've brought. So how did you get into that? What, tell us the story and maybe the coolest or worst experience, or like I don't know, there's got to be something.
Sure. So being 18 years old, you're looking for something interesting and new to do. You don't really understand what your future is going to be, and
And you grew up in Nixa your whole
yeah,
life.
I grew up in Nixon my entire life. There were some opportunities around here, but nothing that was really jumping out as amazing or exciting.
You wanted to be all that you could be.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And but I didn't really want the normal job, and I asked a recruiter what what was something that's really interesting or really weird. And, they mentioned the diver position, and they warned me that it was going to be pretty difficult, and not a lot of people make it through it, and that sounded great for me.
Good challenge.
I said sign me up, and they said okay. Well, we went to Kansas City to sign up, and they said that job was not available. So long story short,
Not a lot of diving in Kansas City.
long story short, multiple visits to try to join as a diver, and eventually we got there, and it honestly turned out to be about the most amazing
I'm sure
job you could ever imagine.
Tell us about a dive that comes to mind.
Well, there are lots. I can say one that definitely sticks out. As an Army diver, we did a lot of inland or dirty water diving, I guess you could say. And this sounds like a pretty basic, rudimentary job, but we were just cleaning the bottom of a ship's hull.
Right. But in very minimal visibility.
Well, zero visibility.
Right.
Just take duct tape and put it over your mask. It was the
work.
water's cold, so you have very thick rubber gloves on, very little that you can see. The job was definitely taking too long, and the tide was going down. We were only sitting in about 25 feet of water. And as the tide
Where was this? Where was the location?
This was in Newport News, Virginia.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And
Beautiful area.
as the tide was going down, the area between the bottom of the ship's hull and the silt down below was getting smaller and smaller, but I still had a job to complete.
Oh my God.
And we decided to go ahead and press on a little longer than we should, whereas I guess about an hour or so later, a 70-ish foot ship hull was on top of me while I could not get out of the silt below it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and thank goodness if the tide could have or would have went down just a little bit more, it could have been very bad. But fortunately, the tide ended up rising. It turned out to be an 11-hour dive.
Oh my gosh.
That should have been somewhere around an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh. So was that everybody's always worried about running out of air. So what did they have you in, like a big, huge...
No, let's see here. I believe
rig?
No, this was actually in scuba. We did do a lot of surface applied, like you're talking about.
Okay.
This was actually in scuba, but fortunately we weren't at a terrible depth doing this. And you've got a crew right above you and really well trained guys.
Sure.
Big air hose and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they just essentially bring down new tanks to you.
Wow.
And
So you
swap
hold
out.
your breath while they swap it out or something, or
Sure.
give you a regulator at least a little
Sure.
bit?
Yeah.
That's
And,
insane to me. That makes me claustrophobic thinking about a ship.
I find that
being on
absolutely
top of me.
fascinating because, I mean, how many years were you in?
Well, I was a what I would call a deep sea diver for 4 years.
But total in the military.
Doing that job. Yeah, for 4 years.
Yeah. Well,
So-
thank you. First of all, let's stop. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Thank you 100%
Yeah.
for anyone who's listening for your service. I'm the daughter of a 26-year Navy veteran, and I have just a big heart in what you were just describing.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
There's predicaments and places that you can end up putting the hole's got to be clean.
Well, and that's my
Right?
grandpa was
But
an
the
Army
skill-
diver too, which
yeah,
is
the-
amazing to me because
Yeah.
you're one of my best friends in the whole wide world. And my grandpa, who's very dear to me as well, was an Army diver too. And he was in World War II, and he would fix the ships that would come from Pearl Harbor to Alaska. And he would deep sea dive in that type of water and weld underneath.
Now, is
the
that
water
how
and
the
stuff.
traveling that you did, is that kind of how you got into this
That's what I was gonna say.
the unique antiques? Because there seems to be, in my mind, a connection of the type of mind that you are, the things you sought out early in life to, get educated and move forward and then do something passionate.
Yeah.
And you seem to have some crazy passion.
Yeah, and it's a lot of
About this-
military.
About what, I mean, you're not just a pawn shop or just a gold exchange, right? I mean, those are things that you offer as services that everybody wants and needs, right?
Yep.
But this other side, is that connected to like the experiences you had or the history interest that you may have had?
I think that's where it started. I should say it started earlier with my parents. They both liked history and just.
What are their names?
That's John and Pam Hawkins.
Hi,
Oh,
John
John
and
and
Pam.
Pam.
Pam Hawkins friended me.
Oh,
Pam's like my
Yes.
mom too. She's like my second mom. So
Uh-huh.
hi, Pam.
She's
Love you.
fantastic. But it really did jump whenever I joined the Army and got the chance to travel around the world, and I found so many neat and unique items that I wasn't able to find around here, and I didn't know what they were, and some of them may have been fantastic, some of them may have been very basic, but to me it was all interesting, trying to find out what they were, which is really probably my favorite part of my job now, is just finding out what people have.
Where do you find them? Tell us about the
There
procuring process.
Okay, so really for the last 10 years or so, I've been hitting your antique auctions, estate auctions, garage sale, like a lot of people around here like doing, treasure hunting and that sort of thing. And then just recently, again, we decided to open the shop because I didn't notice a local outlet for people to bring their unusual or unique items. If you went to another pawn shop, they're probably not going to be as well versed in such. You can go to an antiques mall, but you're probably going to just talk to someone that works the counter.
Well,
Or flea markets.
everybody has their own specialty.
Yeah.
And some it just depends on the perspective of the business owner.
Well, to me, I'm an average person, right? And I just think when I walk into someplace, I'm like, that's junk, or I just walk through a flea market, I'm like, oh, that's cool, if I'm looking for something for a corner in my house or something, or like, but when I walked into your store, I was like, oh my God, this is
You
like
felt the
real
history
deal
hit you in the
stuff,
face.
man. And I love history, I just don't know about knick-knack type items, or your pocket watch collections that you have,
Sure,
things like that.
sure.
So,
Tell us about everything you brought.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
let's do a little introduction for that before we go to break.
If you want to just talk about it, and Matt can pick them up, and how about
Yeah.
that? So
We've got a special treat for Jennifer, first of all.
Oh God, what?
She's going to be shocked, and I don't say that just mentally shocked, but she's going to literally
Physically
be shocked, physically shocked. And I was watching this thing out in the break room a little bit ago, and this is going to be a fun time on the radio to listen to this
It's
thing
this
go off.
old
and then
timey,
you
like
scream.
basically electrotherapy set.
It's a
It looks-
cure-all electronic
that-
therapy set.
It looks
It's
like
going to cure your
Watson and
headache.
Holmes would have it in a corner in like the back scene of a Sherlock Holmes movie. It's got glass bulbs that
Don't
are
doubt
twisty.
it. We're gonna
this
try
is
it out
for
and see.
real. This is for real. So hey, if you're listening on the radio, you can go to Facebook and see what's going to happen. I'm sure the audio is going to be pretty funny because they say it makes a crazy noise and I might scream. All I know is I got a headache earlier today after I was in, we stood up on a stage at the art museum at 1 Million Cups, and a little bit, the light hitting you in the eyes, and just kind of got a headache today. So
We're going to cure that.
they said they're going to cure it.
Yes, literally.
They're going to cure because this little pamphlet says it will not only cure my headache, but it'll cure my happiness, my laughter, and my depression.
All of them.
All in one full swoop.
Yeah, if you have eye problems, it'll take that away. I mean,
It may take your eyes away.
I think there's like 3 or 4 pamphlets in this thing about what it'll cure, and there's like 29 attachments. A couple were discontinued for various reasons, but it was a cure-all. It was the ibuprofen and Tylenol of its day, essentially. That electroshock therapy actually helps my back a little bit, but I just can't wait to shock you really bad today. It's gonna be great.
Shock you. Period.
Great radio. It's great.
Shock
That right
the
there.
monkey.
But we've
Shock
also
the
we've
monkey.
also got never heard that song before. But thank you. But we've also got we've
Google
got
it, Shock the
some
monkey.
World War II memorabilia, which is really cool. You've got some pocket watches that are niche items that aren't cheap by any means. But what's really cool about hearing your story of where you've come with this is you just have dove straight headfirst into the research part of it.
Yeah, that's probably been. If I had an advantage over anyone, that's probably where it's been. I've spent for the past 10 years around 40 to 50 hours a week just diving into the research. Even if it's not items that I'm buying, I'm interested in it. Me and my partner also, he's the same way. We're kind of antiques, history, and gun nerds, you might say.
I'm so glad you said nerds, because it's true. You do nerd out on this, which is really cool.
As they're holding up a multitude of bladed
Sure,
objects
Bob.
right by my head.
Hey, you brought them.
But this is what's really neat for me to be able to see, is because there's a lot of people that are in the pawn industry or the gun industry or antiques, but not a lot of people are well versed in this type of stuff that you brought here. Since we have a couple minutes before break, I want to introduce everybody to why you did this in the first place. So I remember we talked about yesterday a situation where you had a specialty item when you first got into this, and tell us your experience as to what happened in that story to get you where you are now.
Yeah, so many years ago, just at a local estate sale, they had a pretty fine piece. It was a Tiffany and Company sterling silver tea set, maybe a 5-piece tea set, about 100 years old or so.
Wow.
And I had paid a pretty fair amount for it, and I knew it was valuable. I believe I paid around $2,500.
Perfect.
And I wasn't really familiar with what pawn shops did, but I knew they always advertised that they paid for stuff and they bought stuff and they had cash. So it was really my first experience. I decided to bring this tea set in, thinking I had something pretty special to one of the local shops around, and I brought it in, and I was my first experience really wasn't the best. I felt like they weren't very interested in me being there.
Or professional, right?
Or professional, but I'm not going to go too deep on that.
Right.
But I can say this: I was told that they're not terribly interested in the item I brought in, which surprised me a bit. But they did still want to make me an offer, and I was interested to hear. So the offer that I received from them was $50. And I was
Good return.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I decided that wasn't gonna be good, and I decided to walk. And as I turned around, I got told, let me ask my boss. He may be able to do a little better, which she did. And then my offer got jumped up to $100. Within an hour of leaving the place, I actually sold the tea set. True story, for $5,500.
What?
Wow. So that's our segue, guys. We've got more to come with Josh Hawkins from the Stockpile. There you go. And we are going to come back with more with Josh Hawkins from the Stockpile and get to know more about what these items are, and then let's shock Jennifer literally.
Shock the monkey!
I can pull this microphone off. No, I can't.
I'll come sit over here by this, because don't you want people to see me getting, like, how am I going to do this?
How do we do this with, how long is that cord?
We can move
Because
this.
that cord will stretch pretty far, right? Yeah. See, you just come right over here. We'll use the same mic. And look at this thing. Oh my God.
Now this is where I do want to turn those lights off, because it's too hot on that.
Watch this.
We want to be able to see the bzzz.
Oh, you'll see it. By
Okay.
God.
But
Have everybody listen to that on Facebook real quick. Hold it up real close.
oh no, we got it. Hold on.
Oh my God. That's moving at the speed of light, everybody.
Is that coming up?
Oh my God. Yes.
Pretty fancy.
How you feel so far?
Don't hold it up here either. It'll get you. It'll get you. You're safe. I'm a trained professional.
He's read all 5 manuals
Yes,
in there.
I've read every manual. all of them that advertise their other products.
And he brought like the most wicked looking thing that you could have, which is like a
Dude.
head rake of some kind.
What are they gonna do to me? I think I'm kind of excited about it. I've been a thrill seeker my whole life. I mean, mine usually was drugs and alcohol instead of bungee cords, but I'm all up for it. I'm all up for it.
This is gonna be great. I wonder
Now
if we
you
can
need to
just...
hold it. You need to find a place that you think will work so you can get in it too.
This is
Here
gonna
we
be
go.
so funny right here.
Okay.
No one getting shot.
I know it's great. I'm excited. I'm gonna put my hair down though because I don't want to like.
Sucker.
Stop calling me a sucker.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe it'll frizz out.
Oh, will it?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna find
gonna
out
stick
today.
Huh? You name it.
Just-
you name it.
Wow.
Literally.
Are you single?
No, his wife is. Hi,
Oh,
Aubrey.
just kidding.
Hi, Aubrey.
That was a kid. That was a joke.
But with all
Dealer's
the
choice.
with all the accessories, I'm gonna say that it would be a cure-all. To be honest with you, because it can go in every orifice, every
Oh God! Don't say orifice.
eyes, ears, nose. I mean, they've got attachments for your
Throat.
throat if you have tonsillitis.
According to the manual, it cures alopecia, baldness. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Anal fissures, blackheads, bunions.
He just said anal
Don't say anything.
fissures.
Google that.
I don't know what those are.
Deafness, hives, headaches, so hoarseness, frostbite.
Here, you gotta do it too.
Frostbite.
Frostbite,
Here,
yep.
you gotta do it also. Like you gotta be in this.
Wait, no,
'Cause,
I'm
yeah,
not, I'm
you're
not
gonna-
getting shocked. I already got
Yes,
shocked
you are.
earlier.
You are gonna get shocked too.
Okay.
Okay.
You sound nervous. Wry neck. Okay. Writer's
you
cramp.
need to be reading this while he shocks.
Oh, I will be.
Find your favorite.
Can I say rectal?
I don't see why not.
Sweet.
We already
Love
said
you,
anal.
Gene.
They were saying on TV.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
Okay, so we can say that. Okay. Sciatica. Hey.
That's
We
great.
should have found this before surgery.
That was
been a lot
great
easier.
from.
Well, I did have a, what do they call it? TENS device. Itching, if you just itch.
It's
Oh.
in general.
From all the morphine they used to give people. If you just itch.
Itch or twitch?
Insomnia. I'm sure
Twitch
twitching's in
also.
here too. We're going,
Oh my gosh.
this is non-alphabetical, I'm fine.
How long we got?
No, it is.
No, it's alphabetical.
We
It
can
is.
go anytime.
Dispensia. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay. Let's do it.
Thank Will Chapel again. Say, here we go.
Hey, all right. Welcome back to hashtag Who Do You Know in 417 Mo. Thank you, Real Chapel, for our music. We thank you every week, and we really love having that. And thank you to our sponsors, Meridian Title and Whiskey River Market. But I am going to skip through a whole lot of other things, and we're going to skip to one of the coolest things that I have ever seen come through any doors of any, let's say, pawn shop or antique shop. First of all, we've got some really cool daggers and things like that from World War II. We've got a Japanese sword that is believed to have some blood pitting on it as well. So it was a World War II sword. We've got some really cool double-sided knives as well.
And you can find those down in Clever, Missouri at the Stockpile.
Yes.
It's a new unique antique location with our friend Josh Hawkins, who's getting ready to hook me up to some sort of electroshock therapy device that is physician's directions for high-frequency electric treatments.
You'll be curing all of your ailments.
So,
Yes, so we're gonna
basically, the
dive
snake
right into
oil
this.
salesman just walked in and he's going to put me he's going to shock me.
Well, he's actually an expert at this, I guess. He's going to be after this, I think. So you have a headache, correct, Jen?
I have had
that
a
you
headache.
developed earlier today from some bright lights hitting you.
Yeah, and life can get kind of stressful sometimes.
It
I think you
can.
get a headache sometimes after 5 or 6 months because you just you
Yeah.
gotta shut down for a minute.
Any,
but you know what really helped me? I was thinking maybe if someone tased me. I thought maybe.
I think I've got the cure for
Oh
that
my God.
right here.
I think we can tase you. Yes.
Oh no!
This may not play well on radio, but maybe the sound.
Oh,
the
let's
sound
put
of it's
that
gonna
up, put
be
that up to the microphone.
Pretty
Now,
easy to hear. I can already hear it. Okay, so hold on. Shh. Yeah. That's going to be fun. So no abscesses or acne that we need to worry about. Alopecia.
not that I'm going to tell you about.
All right, so
Tell me your ailment. Let's see if we can fix it.
I have a headache, and sometimes I'm too happy, and sometimes I'm too sad.
Okay, we can fix all of those
All of
with
that.
one device.
all of that.
Let's see.
Okay, so where are you going to stick this thing exactly?
Okay, we're gonna go on. We're gonna
We'll
go
start
on
with
your
your
head
hand.
here.
On my head.
Oh, you're going to go straight to the head.
Straight
Oh my
to
god.
the head.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am so ready. I'm
Get
so
closer-
ready.
get closer to
oh
the mic.
my god. Oh.
Do you feel it?
Yes, I feel it. Here. Get by the
That's on.
Woo!
That's on
Oh, weird.
low.
Okay, I'm going to be quiet for a minute.
That's on low. Okay, so it also cures bronchitis,
try your hand.
boils,
Okay.
cold
That felt really good,
extremities, conjunctivitis. It looks like it also cures muffin tops as well.
What? So you
Yeah.
muffin tops,
I-
you mean you can stick
that-
this electrode
That's
thing
not
on
a
your hips?
technical term, but we'll stick with muffin tops.
It used to be at the turn of the century.
Yeah,
Do
nervous
it.
diseases.
Here, do it on my hair again.
ner-
It almost makes it stand up.
Can you do it a little stronger?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Sure.
Light that baby up.
Does it actually feel good or bad?
yeah, man. Well, I mean,
I've never.
I
done
was
this,
never.
so I
I
don't
was.
know.
I've always been a little self-abusive. I was never a cutter or anything.
Right.
But
Don't mind a
oh,
little-
this is kind of like that good pain.
Okay. Turn it up then, Josh.
Yeah.
We're not bad enough.
This
Oh, God.
is
Here, Matt,
definitely
you need to try
Matt,
it out.
give
something
you-
that,
give-
oh my dear God. Jeez.
Again, we're with Josh Hawkins of the Stockpile down in
Jesus
Clever,
Christ.
Missouri, and we are having way too much fun with some old-timey electronic treatment device.
This is turn of the century, I do believe.
Yeah,
correct,
read
Josh?
some more out of that.
Hold
Let's.
on. Does it have a year in here? How old is this thing?
We're not sure.
I'll go to the highest setting I feel comfortable with.
Okay.
That you feel comfortable.
Now, for
He's like
all
an army
those that
diver.
you know, oh my gosh, that Jennifer Laney has not always been the most pleasant person. Sometimes I made mistakes. If you ever want to see me suffer,
This is it, guys. This is it.
No, I've actually already been through that. This feels pretty good.
Let's cheer
That was
her
a fun
on.
thing.
Let's
Now,
cheer
we
her
are
on.
on the radio, so let's keep to our little points. Thank you. Wow. Okay, I'm going to step back and see if my
How's your
headache goes
headache?
away.
Yeah, let's see what happens once you get some of that
What
stimulation
headache?
in your hair. See?
I feel like I took 8 ibuprofen and a
There's
Prozac.
something to this. Now, Josh, you've got some really cool items sitting in front of us that nobody in this room is going to know what this is, right?
Sure.
So you brought some really expensive pocket watches, and is that where you found your first kind of niche? Am I right?
Well, that was basically what started my love for anything mechanical. Pocket watches. If you think of something that's 100 or 150 years old, a lot of them made by hand, incredibly complicated devices. It really got me understanding that we're not quite the geniuses we think we are today. There were some pretty amazing people back then that were making some pretty amazing items. Just seeing the tiny little works in them, and that kind of translated into firearms also with how complicated they can be and
Right.
how interesting they can be. You said a couple firearms. Speaking of a complicated one that we brought was a Mauser C96.
This one right
That
here,
one right
this
there.
big,
Yep.
Big Daddy. I'm
Commonly
not going to
referred
point this
to
at
as
anybody.
a-
I take hunter safety, so
as
I know.
a broom handle Mauser. That was essentially one of the first proper semi-automatic pistols that's ever been made.
And this is back to World War II?
Yeah, before, in fact.
Before?
In fact,
World
yeah.
War I
World
then,
War I
right?
up until World War II. And then around World War II, those actually, a lot of them got replaced by something at least similar to what you have there. That's a 1900 Luger.
Which everybody would notice that this is more of like a German type of gun or German officer type of gun at the time.
Sure.
But it was also, this was made in Switzerland also, right? And came to America.
Yeah, and imported into America. And I believe it's in a American Eagle model.
Yeah, it's even got the American Eagle symbol on
is what they call that. Obviously, had that printed on for American import. A few other items.
You have some interesting World War II stuff I noticed also.
Sure.
Yeah, this is cool military right here because not that we promoted anything that the Nazis did, but they did have some fine craftsmanship. Let's just start with that.
And it's also good to learn from. That's one thing about these items in history is you learn from them. If that sort of thing is essentially erased from history, where do we get our basis from? It can teach us what not to do.
Absolutely.
Right.
Amen to
But yeah, that is a Luftwaffe dagger, which would have been the German Air Force dagger. And yeah, right there.
This one looks really old. What's this?
Yeah, so that is really from the same era. That is the British commando knife. It is a Fairbairn Sykes. So it would have been used by some of the higher end.
Like special teams type thing, ops and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then, give me that sword right there. I want to see that sword right there. Okay, because
There's a button.
I look really cool with this thing. But
Absolutely.
who wouldn't?
Everyone
right?
does. Everyone does.
But it would be tough to carry because it's heavy, right?
Well-
this thing probably weighs what, maybe 3 or 4 pounds, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not necessarily a samurai sword, but it's made for battle.
Oh, it doesn't sound so cool like they make it in the movie.
Zing!
Dang, man, I was hoping I could get that zing out of it. But this is a...
Yeah. So that is a let's see here, a non-commissioned officer's Japanese sword, World War II. I actually haven't taken the hilt off that to find out if it's a handmade sword or not yet. I believe someone could have possibly at some point bondoed it. So essentially, a lot of the swords were passed down from generation to generation. Many of them, many hundreds of years old, and then they would refab them in a form to match the other swords. And then a lot of them were also just commercially made, which
Right, but
very possibly
This
could be
one
also.
definitely was used.
Oh,
I mean,
and-
you see nicks out of it, and I do believe you said there may be some oxidized blood, and it's honestly right there on the top of it as well.
There's some oxidized blood pitting. It certainly has some nicks in the blade. It would have been used and carried. Of course, not their primary weapon by
Right.
any
Not by
means.
that time, anyways.
Yeah.
But still, if you had to use it, because hand-to-hand combat was still a thing at that point,
Well, hand-to-hand combat, I guess, at
Oh.
times still could be.
Shoot, we only got a minute left. Oh my gosh.
Hey, you guys, you know what? We want to extend the invitation again. This front porch interview is probably the coolest one we've had in a long time in the 5 episodes we've had.
Absolutely.
Josh Hawkins of the Stockpile down in Clever, Missouri. You can go into his store anytime. He does want to look at your fine wares if you need to sell something, if you need to pawn something, if you have any gold to sell. We want to thank you for listening to hashtag Who Do You Know in 417Mo. And I'm just a little shocked today that the little thing he brought did. My head feels tremendously better. Josh, thank you so much, and we hope you come back again.
All right, great being here. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Join us next Wednesday and every Wednesday here at 3 o'clock on KWTO Studios 93.3 FM or 560 AM. And this is Matt.
And Jennifer.
And we're out.
And don't forget, hashtag Who Do You Know in 417Mo, KWTO.com, live stream if you want to listen to us in your living room.
I'm Rosa Kay with Your Money Now. Crude price.
That was cool.
Slumped
Cool.
3%.
We got to shock you on the
Can you do
radio.
us some more?
She's like, no, wait, I need a full session.
Yeah, dude.
How much is
Can I-
this device?
Yeah, I'm like.
I got to show
Do you
this whole
have all the
device.
attachments? No, just kidding.
This is what this
That was
archaic looking shocker looks like. Right?
Right?
So this is your comb. I'm not going to talk about what these other devices might be. Facebook-wise, we can talk about.
Use your imagination.
Oh man! And if you'd like to purchase this item and have your own type of fun, that's how much something like this would cost or whatnot. But this is exactly what Josh does. Okay, some really cool, like legitimate stuff that you can buy that is pieces of history. Facebook, you can go to
The Stockpile. That's simple. We're actually going to be having some giveaways, probably giving away some ammunition leading up to and on our grand opening, and possibly giving away a gun here soon.
Oh, very nice. Didn't you guys have a knife that you were giving away? A pretty high dollar knife that you guys were doing for liking the page?
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
It's gone. No, it's gone. It got given away along with some other ammunition, and
Man, I assume I didn't win that thing because I like your page, I think, on every device that I have. So
yeah.
that's okay. But if you guys want to win your own items, if you want to go check out some stuff at his store, if you actually have some items yourself, go take some stuff by the Stockpile in Clever. Or if you want to have an estate sale, if you know somebody who's up for that, let Josh know. He likes to learn that stuff. He likes to go check those things out.
All that junk in your grandpa's shed.
All that stuff in your grandpa's shed. I know I had a bunch of that stuff after my grandpa passed away. But look forward to hearing more from Josh in the future. We thank you guys for being with us today, and have a good day, y'all.
So, was the doctor's apparatus